Hi, it's Scott Vogel on Sex Addiction. I'm going to share with you Step 7 in the 12 steps of recovery from sex addiction. Step 7 says, humbly ask God to remove our shortcomings. This step is all about asking for help. Humbly ask, first two words. It's about asking God to help us, or our higher power. Now, God's not going to help us remove these defects of character until we stop acting out on them. When we decide to stop, that's when God will help remove them from our lives. We can't just stay in our defects of character and expect God to just simply, poof, remove them. Here's where we have to do our part and not participate in the defects, and then we can ask for help in removing them from our lives. The principle behind Step 7 is humility. Humility is the quality of being modest and respectful. It signifies the quality of being subservient, serving, humble, meek, and modest in our behavior, in our attitude or our spirit. It's about not being arrogant or prideful or thinking that we're bigger than we really are. That was a big ouch for me. It was really tough. From a life of pride and thinking I had power to a life of humility. Being humbled before God was difficult for me. Being humble before others was difficult. Asking for help. Being a being. Being a being, just learning to be, and not having to do all the time, just being okay with where I was right then in the moment. No more performances were necessary. Just humbly kneeling before God and asking Him to remove every defect of character, all my shortcomings, and allowing Him to show me then how to be useful to my fellow man and others. In working Step 7, we make a list of our defects of character, our shortcomings that we want to remove. So we focus on them and ask God to remove them and remind ourselves what they are so that we don't repeat them. We use affirmations to help us add our character virtues, our character assets, and begin to move towards a better way of living. The Step 7 prayer says, my Creator, I am willing. You should have all of me, good and bad. I pray that you now remove from me every single defect of character that stands in the way of my usefulness to you and my fellow man. Grant me strength as I go out from here to do your bidding. Here, I ask God to take all of me, good and bad, because that's who I am. And I need help removing these shortcomings, these defects of character, so that I can become a more productive member of society, that I can contribute, not detract from society. And then once I do that, I can start to fulfill my purpose and do God's will and His work in my life. Visit our YouTube channel on sex addiction for more videos on sex addiction and recovery from sex addiction. Go to www.onsexaddiction.com, where you'll find a free video explaining sex addiction, the symptoms of sex addiction, the faulty core beliefs surrounding sex addiction, the traumas of addiction, and the solution, the 7 paths of success in recovery from sex addiction. You'll also find articles on our blog as well as more information about sex addiction and recovery from sex addiction.